Hi guys, SDJRSNF88 speaking, with a little video about our Great Model Railway Challenge layout, Go Forth. Now, as you know, I did a behind the scenes video recently showing the construction of that very layout during our time filming at Fawley Hill for our heat. And for those of you that tuned into the episode, I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, I hope you enjoyed a bit of the insight as to what the show was all about in the behind the scenes video. But it was a really enjoyable experience, and I still can't believe we managed to build that layout in that space of time. And as you all know, we're now through to the final, so you have to stay tuned in a couple of weeks' time, where we go head to head with another 4 teams to be crowned the Great Model Railway Challenge champion. So you have to see what happens in that episode. But anyway, as you all know, I did a recent Q&A as well regarding our team's time on the show, but there was one question that I didn't get round to answering, and I know that you guys have been asking this question a lot. And that question is, what happened to all the layouts after filming? Well, the simple simple answer for this is we got to keep them. Now, some teams did break them up at the end of the show. As you will realise, these layouts weren't exactly small little layouts like Amiens 1918, my World War I trench railway. These layouts are massive. They are 10 foot by 5 foot. And being built on set in 24 hours means that they're not really designed to be split after. Now, this is something, of course, we all found out as a team. We tried our best with our part of our pre-build to make sure that we would allow it to split, so we designed some of the track, or the track we were allowed to lay, to split. But of course, once we were on set, it was all hands on deck to get the layout finished, and as you all know, it turned out absolutely amazing, better than we all ever imagined it would when we drew it up on paper. But of course, it meant we couldn't really design it to split. So anyway, being the winning layout of its heat, it had to stay at Fawley Hill until the final. They kept all the layouts that got through to the final all together, so they were going to be on display. Again, I'm not sure if this will get featured in the programme, but I know that they kept each of our layouts, so we had to hang fire with Go Forth, and it had to stay there for a couple more weeks until the final was filmed. But after the final, it meant that we could arrange transport, or they could arrange transport to bring the layout home. Now, as mentioned, these layouts are massive, 10 foot by 5 foot, so they wouldn't fit it in the van that we brought it up there with. So we organised transport in a lorry to bring it back to here. And sadly, it received a fair bit of damage on its transportation home. It got knocked around a bit, and being in 3 separate heavy MDF boards, it sort of broke up a bit, and which was a shame to see it when it turned it back home. But it was no one's fault. It was a complete accident, but it was expected. Of course, again, being built in such a quick space of time meant that we couldn't put on the things that we wanted to make it. We didn't have time to put on the things that would have made it a bit more safer and secure to transport about. So anyway, once we got it home, we then safely dismantled it into 3 sections that it originally came in, the 3 boards that you see at the beginning of my behind the scenes video, which meant some of the scenery had to be cut and it had to be reshaped. Anyway, from there on, we didn't really have any space to store it, and we still technically don't. So it was moved to one of the other team members' houses. Adi, as you know, who was our chief model builder, who you saw in the episode rip off the roof of a building after I told him it needed bomb damage. He kindly took it on and stored it in his garage for a couple of months. And then, of course, what do we do with it? Do we exhibit it? Do we try and display it? And basically, an opportunity has arisen which was too good to miss, and that was Signals Models wondered if we could display the layout in their shop. And as you know, Signals Models is my local model shop. They've done a lot for me, and I thought it'd be amazing to actually have a public display with the layout, where the layout is a centrepiece. And their 10th anniversary is coming up of opening their store, so what better time to do it, which is happening on November the 3rd of this year. So in a couple of weeks' time, in fact 2 weeks' time roughly when this video goes out. So amazingly, they recently moved to a new premises on the high street, a slightly larger premises. which included a number of spare rooms, one of which Mike, the owner, wishes to turn it into a model club. And of course this room is just big enough to set up the layout for a public display. So we've just moved the layout in 3 sections over to Signals, and we are currently restoring it to its former glory in the shop. And it will be on public display on November the 3rd, and basically that's what this video is about. It's basically to say, do pop in to Signals Models. I'll probably do another little video explaining the event in a bit more detail when we know the full details. But the idea is to have it display on this room. You know, obviously it's going to be free, so just turn up to the shop as you would do, have a little browse, and then of course come and see us with the layout. As it's the 10th anniversary, I've got a funny feeling, but the plan is to possibly have an in-store discount Signals, so I think it's going to be like 10% off everything throughout the day, one day only, and of course you get to come and see the layout. So yeah, so do pop along. I'll pop a link to their website in the description below, and of course I hope to do a little video with a bit more information as and when I know it. But the idea is, we're currently restoring the layout. It's going quite well, and of course I'm filming this as well, very much like how I did the behind the scenes video, so you'll be able to see how we are restoring the layout back to its former glory. So we're partly way through restoration at the moment. It's going well, the layout's back on its legs, it's all one piece. We're just redoing the wiring at the moment, and of course we are fixing the scenery, which of course got damaged, but the majority of it is in really, really good condition. The figures have, about 95% of the figures, there's quite a lot of figures on there. You didn't see how many there actually were in the programme, but there's a lot of Blackadder cameos, and 95% of them are A-OK. A couple of figures got damaged and 2 got lost, but basically they are nothing a bit of glue and a few spare pieces can fix. They are currently being restored. So yeah, that's the idea. But after the show, that show anyway, we don't know what to do with the layout. As I mentioned, it's just too big to exhibit, and it's a bit annoying really, because you know, we've been approached now, as you can imagine, by a number of large exhibitions that would love to see the layout displayed, and I won't discuss which exhibitions they are, but I know that they are basically really, really large exhibitions, ones that take sometimes, you know, maybe 2-3 years waiting list to get in, and some of these are happening in a couple of months' time, and basically the organisers have got in contact with us and want to invite us, but sadly I don't think we will be able to do these. It'd be amazing to, but there's just too much involved in trying to get the layouts to these shows, in as such the layouts are just not designed to split. As mentioned, you know, there's a lot of work. We've basically put in quite a few hours, probably more hours so far trying to restore it than we actually did building it. So that gives you an idea of you know, the sort of what you have to do to these layouts, which is, you know, quite stuffing. So although these exhibitions are amazing and we would love to get it to a big public exhibition, I think this might possibly be the only time it will be on public display. After this, we don't know what we are exactly going to do with it. We're wondering whether do we split it back up, because of course we can't have the room forever. It's very, very kind of them to lend us this room over at Signals for the foreseeable future anyway, but it's not permanent by all means. As mentioned, Mike wants to open up a model club, and to have the layout in the centre of the room, which is pretty much taking up nearly all the room, you know, it's not an option. So the one idea that we are having is possibly planning on selling the layout. So do let me know what your thoughts are on that. But I just think basically it will be a shame just to split the layout again and store it in one of our garages with no sort of, you know, chance of really exhibiting it, because as mentioned we need to hire a van to get it to these shows. We need to hire a van. We need at least you know, 3 or 4 people, our team members, to commit to actually moving it. And of course we all work different hours. As I mentioned in my previous Q&A video, I work as bar staff, and this means I work mostly weekends. So it's one thing me getting time off to organise taking out my World War I Trench Railway Amiens 1918. I could just put that in the car, I could go solo with it and display it all weekend. But with Go Forth you need at least 3 or 4 people, other team members, to also come along, and you know, everybody's willing and stuff, but I know that at least 3 of us, like myself, work weekends, and it means getting time off. So for all of us to try and get time off work is extremely hard. and it really is a shame, really, to it is an amazing opportunity to own and look after what we built. It's it's really, really special, but I think personally it would just be a shame just to leave it in one of our garages to, well, in a way, rot. So I think the idea is that selling it might be the best option. Of course, we are all in discussion with this. We're trying to find other solutions at the moment. And of course, if an exhibition is right, there might be a possibility. I'm not saying that we're not going to take it to exhibitions, but for the foreseeable future, and thinking of the logistics of this, I can't see how it will work out personally for us. But we'll have to see. But you never know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you've it sort of gives you an insight as to what happens with what's happened with Go Forth. So it is still around, and it is being restored to its former glory, and you will be able to see it on November the 3rd at least. I'll keep you posted on what we plan to do with the layout after, so i.e. sell it, take it to exhibitions. Of course, any news that I get on this, I'll let you know. But yeah, I hope this gives you a bit more of an insight. Sorry, it's been a bit of drivelling on a bit. It's it's quite a hard subject to figure out what we're going to do with this, as you could sort of imagine. As you can see, I'm even confused myself as to what we're actually going to do with it. But anyway, I hope it clears the murky water a bit about surrounding the layout. But anyway, I'll do another little video about the event. It'll be a brief little video describing what the plan is, once we've confirmed everything and the layout's fully operational. But yeah, November the 3rd, put that one in your diary to come and see Go Forth at Signals Models at Midsummer Norton. And of course, stay tuned for the rest of the series of the Great Model Railway Challenge. There's a number of other YouTubers coming up. If I can, I'll find their links in the description. I'll pop them in the description below. Apologies if I don't get around to doing that. But there are a number of other fellow YouTubers you might recognise in up-and-coming episodes, and of course the final as well. So yeah, do stay tuned. But yeah, I guess that's all that's left for me to say. This has been SDJR88 speaking, and thanks for watching.